My wife and her affair partner humiliated me at a party, made jokes about our marriage in front of everyone. I stayed calm. Then I played their text thread on the TV. 2 weeks of messages planning their future together. When 40 guests watched them both try to leave, I realized how long I'd been ignoring the signs. My name is Alex, 34, and my soon-to-be ex-wife, Megan, 32, had been pretending to be this perfect partner for almost 5 years. We met in college, and I thought I knew her, thought we were building something real. But looking back, I can now see how meticulous she was at hiding her ambition to get something bigger, something that wasn't me. I always liked things organized, rational, predictable, and she always gave me that sense of calm domestic bliss. I drove her to her business retreat last Thursday, waving her off as she gushed about networking opportunities. I genuinely felt happy for her. I promised the house would be spotless, laundry done, fridge stocked. She kissed my cheek and left, that perfect smile that I had convinced myself was love. Friday morning was quiet. Texts were light. I assumed she was making connections, maybe attending workshops, learning something new. Then Saturday evening, I saw it. A post, not a fleeting story, but a permanent grid post. Megan, champagne in hand. Next to a man I didn't know, late 40s, expensive suit, city lights behind them. The caption, finally meeting people who recognize my worth. Hashtag upgrade, hashtag new opportunities. I stared. Heart didn't race, didn't pound. Just this cold, calculating clarity settled in. She had been planning, probably for months, and I had been blind. I thought about the tiny sighs when I suggested practical vacations, the subtle complaints about my wardrobe, the way she rolled her eyes at conversations about savings and investments. Everything clicked. I typed one word under the post. Congrats. Hit send. Silence. Then notifications flooded in. Megan, texts, calls, trying to explain. It's just networking. I didn't reply. I turned off my phone, pulled up our wedding planning folder. Deposits, contracts, spreadsheets, seating charts, contingencies for every possible disaster, meticulously planned by me. Every dollar accounted for, every guest considered. I called the venue, the caterer, the photographer, the band. Cancel. Send confirmation. Done. I drafted an email to our guests. Wedding canceled. Reason. Megan's decision to pursue what she called upgrading her lifestyle. Hit send. That evening, she called repeatedly, frantic. The calls went unanswered. Sunday came, and I started thinking about the party I'd promised to host for my best friend's birthday. I realized it would be the perfect stage. Not for revenge, not for humiliation for the sake of it, but for truth. People needed to see what she had been doing behind closed doors. I told a few friends I trusted, including my brother, Ryan, and my best friend, Jake, what was happening. They were shocked but supportive. We agreed I'd keep my composure, reveal evidence, and not stoop to petty name-calling. Monday morning, I downloaded 2 weeks of messages between Megan and this man, Jordan. Every line, every plan for future weekends, vacations, even financial discussions. They had mapped a parallel life while pretending to be married to me. Monday night, I rehearsed mentally. I had a calm demeanor, the evidence on my phone, and the courage to let truth speak. Party night came. Guests arrived unsuspecting. Drinks, laughter, the usual chatter. Megan and Jordan arrived together, looking smug. I welcomed them politely. Happy birthday, Chris, I said to my friend. Megan and Jordan laughed, made a few cutting jokes about me, about our marriage, about how boring I was. I stayed calm, smile fixed, heart steady. Guests were uncomfortable, sensing the tension. Then I connected my laptop to the TV. Hey, everyone, can I show you something? I said softly, almost conversationally. Click. Messages appeared. Jordan, I can't wait until we move in together. Megan, me neither. Can't stand pretending anymore. Jordan, should we wait until after his trip? Megan, yeah, he suspects nothing. Perfect timing. I let it play and play. 2 weeks of text messages scrolling, meticulous plans, jokes about how dull I was, how perfect their partnership would be. I could see the color drain from Megan's face. Jordan looked around, embarrassed, trying to laugh it off. I stayed calm. I let the evidence speak. The room was silent. 40 pairs of eyes watching, absorbing the truth. I didn't shout, didn't yell, just watched as her smug exterior crumbled. Megan and Jordan tried to leave, doors blocked by friends who were now stunned witnesses. They stammered, stuttered, excuses spilling from mouths. It's not what it looks like. I can explain. We were joking. Laughter turned awkward, polite murmurs fading into uncomfortable silence. I sipped my drink. Calm, methodical. I felt relief more than anything. Truth had finally surfaced. People I cared about saw her for who she was. They saw her manipulation. They saw her deceit. I watched her retreat, face red, dignity shattered. Jordan tried to defend himself, but the words fell flat. No one listened. Monday turned to Tuesday. I filed the separation papers, changed the locks, canceled joint accounts, informed our families and friends formally. Megan called repeatedly. I stayed calm, sometimes reading her messages and laughing quietly at the audacity. Week 1, no contact. Week 2, no contact. Friends reached out, offering support, meals, company. By the end of the month, she had left the house, moved in with Jordan, and was trying to maintain a social presence that looked normal. I had already secured my own apartment, started therapy, reconnected with hobbies I'd ignored, books I'd set aside. I realized the depth of deception, the layers of planning and subtle manipulation. I had been careful, rational, logical, and still I had missed the cues. But now hindsight was sharp. I documented everything. Every message, every Instagram post, every call, every financial decision, every lie. It became a roadmap of survival, a guide to reclaiming my life. Friends came over often, helping unpack boxes, sharing laughs, reminding me that life could still have joy. Rye, my brother, visited one weekend, looked around, and said, "Man, you handled that like a chess master. Calm, deliberate. I'd have lost it in 5 minutes." And he was right. I had lost no composure. I had let truth do the work. I had regained control. Megan tried to call my job, leaving messages, voicemails pleading, threatening. I didn't respond. HR had been notified, legal counsel in place. My life became mine again. Months passed. I rebuilt. I started dating again cautiously, not seeking revenge, just companionship, mutual respect. I could finally sleep without nightmares of deceit. I finally understood that calmness, methodical action, and self-respect were strong. My story spread among our mutual friends. Some were shocked, some horrified, some congratulated me on my composure. I realized the impact wasn't just on me. It was a lesson in observation, intuition, and self-worth. The last time I saw Megan, she walked past my apartment complex, Jordan by her side, a facade of normalcy on her face. I waved once. She froze, probably expecting some reaction. I smiled slightly, walked inside, closed the door, and felt that long-lost sense of peace. Life moved on. I moved on, calm, deliberate, rational, finally free. And that, friends, is how I survived betrayal, public humiliation, and manipulation. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't fast, but it was real. And it was mine. And that's how I tell it here, now. Because truth deserves a stage, even if it's just a story, typed and shared, a testament to patience, resilience, and the power of calm. But it wasn't just about Megan and Jordan. I realized later that the people around me had been unknowingly complicit in letting this kind of deception fester. Friends, family, co-workers, they'd all seen hints, little inconsistencies, subtle signs of tension. Nobody spoke up. I was too polite, too trusting. That's something I had to come to terms with. I couldn't change the past, but I could observe, analyze, and adjust my own behavior for the future. I started journaling every night, chronicling my thoughts, my reactions, and the small victories of reclaiming my life. I detailed interactions with co-workers, friends, even casual strangers, anything that had taught me a lesson about trust, patience, or human behavior. I rebuilt my routines, adding meditation, running, cooking classes, and weekend hiking trips. I didn't just survive, I evolved. By the third month, I had started dating again, tentatively at first. Coffee dates, long walks, cautious conversation, laughter that didn't feel forced. I reminded myself constantly to observe, to read signals carefully, but not to become paranoid. I learned the subtle art of balance. Not everyone would betray you. Not everyone would lie. But being aware was a kind of armor. I even reached out to some old friends who had faded from my life during the marriage, rebuilding a network of people who valued honesty, integrity, and presence. One night, months later, I hosted a small dinner party. Just close friends, casual, laughter flowing. Someone joked about relationships and trust. I smiled and let them. I didn't share details of Megan and Jordan, not yet. But inside, I felt a quiet satisfaction, control regained, dignity intact, life rebuilt. I knew there would be flashbacks, moments of doubt, the occasional pang of anger or sadness. But now I had tools, insight, and support. I had reclaimed my narrative. Life wasn't perfect, but it was mine. I could see myself years from now, telling this story not with bitterness, but as a testament to resilience, calm, observation, and strategic patience. And that, in its own way, felt like victory. Meg and Jordan, their future together. I didn't care anymore. I had learned the ultimate lesson. No one can control your peace but you. And peace, hard-won, deliberate, intentional peace, is worth more than anything. I started traveling again, small trips at first, weekend getaways, city escapes, then longer journeys. Solo trips, reading in cafes, meeting people, learning new skills. It was exhilarating. I could see the world in a way I hadn't allowed myself before, not shackled by trust betrayed, not distracted by deception. And slowly, inevitably, I found love again. Not rushed, not desperate, but deliberate, observed, patient. A woman who was honest, communicative, emotionally intelligent. Someone whose presence didn't come with hidden agendas, subtle manipulations, or betrayals. And the difference was night and day. I could laugh again without hesitation. I could sleep deeply. I could wait without anxiety. And that, friends, is a journey I want to share. From humiliation at a party, from betrayal that spanned weeks, months, years of hidden manipulation, to reclaiming life, dignity, and calm. I share it here because someone else might be sitting in silence, feeling betrayed, unsure how to proceed. And the answer isn't chaos, isn't shouting, isn't vengeance. It's calm. It's strategy. It's truth. Let the evidence speak. Let the universe witness. And then rebuild your life deliberately, piece by piece. Life will feel rich again. And when it does, you'll realize something profound. Surviving betrayal isn't just about moving on. It's about becoming stronger, smarter, calmer, and ultimately free.